Hey everyone, this is Dean on the scene, Dean Rogers, and we welcome you to the latest edition of Snapshots, where we talk to the people who make the entertainment world go round for 15 years now. On today's adventure of Snapshots, I will say it once and I'll say it many times. When it comes to going to conventions, that is one of my favorite things. It's my favorite thing to do. I've done it for now 30 years. With my next guest, she is about to embark on another journey, a journey that we are about to enter in the next week or two, in this case, the following week. Coming up on the weekend of August 17th through the 18th, 2024, is the annual Fairfax Comic-Con. And for all the Fairfax County people out there, you know the place. It is at Dulles Expo Center. My next guest and I, we have a history. Before I started this magazine 15 years ago, my guest and I met 5 years earlier. It was 2004 in a convention called GalaxyCon 2 in College Park, Maryland. And she was, yes, would you believe, she was the third person I ever interviewed, ever. And I still cannot believe we have come full circle. A few conventions later. In fact, the last time we saw each other was at WinterCon in New York, outside New York. And I told her I would love to interview her one of these days again. And finally, this day has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back the woman who 25 years ago made her crazy sci-fi debut as Chiana on the hit series Farscape. 25 years, can you believe it? The wonderful.
It was like just yesterday.
You're right, it does feel like yesterday, Gigi Edgley. Welcome to Snapshots. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, beautiful. I guess happy anniversary to you and I.
Yes, I still cannot believe 20 years have passed, and this was the second assignment I had for entertainment reporter, and you and Jules State and the late Richard Hatch were the first sci-fi interviews I have ever had at that convention.
Wow, that's pretty special because we're all a big family, aren't we? Like, we all look after each other. We've been on this journey together for, as you say, I've been doing Comic-Cons since Farscape days, so for 25 years. It's a beautiful tribe. It's a beautiful community, a family that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm so honoured to be part of this crew. It's very special, especially living so far away from my blood family in Australia.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful to meet friends and fans and acquaintances all over the world, throughout these years, and celebrate Farscape and all the new productions that we have all together. And I was just in San Diego Comic-Con, and I was asked to promote Isla Monstro, which is a new adult animated series.
Oh.
And it has James Masters and lots of the crew in it and stuff. I'm like, that's all they had to say. So they're a big fan of Buffy and the Gang and Angel and everything. So it's very cool. I love creating new productions, and I love doing the Comic-Cons. And awesome Mike Federale, I'm his biggest fan. He's had me at many shows, and I love and adore him and his beautiful, beautiful family as well. Like, it's very special to join forces and to see everyone. I think it's only 9 sleeps to go. I'm very excited.
Yes, you're right. It is over a week away, and it's amazing. And that's, especially since you just mentioned just moments ago that you and I have a history of going to conventions for numerous years, many years. In fact, you mentioned about Comic-Con, and you actually got to present an award at the Eisner Awards. Eisner, there we go. Can you tell us what about the award you presented? And I think you had a couple more presenters with you, correct?
Yeah, so I was working with Wing Chen, who's a dear friend, and again, I think probably he and I almost match each other for convention adventures. And he joined me, and we presented the Kids and Teens Award.
Ooh.
And that was it was a new experience for me, because usually at the San Diego Comic Con, I've been lucky enough to jump up on stage for the opening party or the closing party or the big Saturday event and sing a song, and I love doing all that too, because if you've met me on the circuit, you know I like to get amongst everyone as much as possible. So in the early days, I loved singing as well, so I said, do you want me to jump up and do a song? And it's just grown from there, really, and so every performance I've got to outdo my laugh. So I found this amazing shop on Melrose. It's like fashion house with stars, and it dresses J-Lo and Beyonce, and I'm like, yep, I'm in. And it has these over-the-top, like, cat suits with spikes and sparks and feathers and goodness knows what. I'm like, that's totally my cup of tea. So I go in there and I hang out with the designer, and he throws all these things on me, and then I jump up on stage, and it's fun for me because when I am dressed in all these beautiful, bizarre creations, it makes me feel brave. It makes me feel like a character. It makes me feel like a warrior.
Yeah.
And you guys are also welcoming and so lovely. My voice has really grown a lot from the Comic Con community as well, because when you get up, it's quite nerve-wracking, and everyone's always so welcoming and enthusiastic. So this is the first year in a long time that they asked me to, instead of performing live, a good friend, Al Ortega, amazing photographer, said, we're the presenters for the Eisner Awards, would you join us? And I said, Al, usually I do my singing thing. And I thought, you know what, why not mix it up this year and explore another part of Comic Con? Because I've been going to that one for, a gazillion years, and I've never seen in Hall H, I've never seen the Eisner Awards, and I thought, why not support all parts? So that was a lot of fun. And then the night before, we had panels almost every day, as I said, presenting and promoting Isla Monstro as well, and Farscape 25th anniversary, so that was fun. But yeah, everything's been great, and it's actually Mike's convention, because it's the second last one I'm doing this year, which is astounding, because usually I've been doing them back to back for so long in between, big jobs with the studios and my own productions. I wanted to take some time off the circuit so I can complete this script that I've been writing for some time. But because I've got my little girl, Sky, when I have her, all I want to do is be with her. So she's about to start school. So when she starts school, that's my Gigi time that I can get the script up and running. And I found some fantastic support from an amazing producer, and he's helping me get off the circuit so I can focus on creating the feature film. And also doing the pitch deck for the final 4 music videos that I have up my sleeve. So I'm so excited to do that. I want to keep presenting new amazing things to you guys from my heart and soul. That's where my passion's always been in storytelling. So Mike's got me for the second last appearance of the year. So you better come out and say hi, because then I'm going to go into creating mode and hibernating mode.
Absolutely. I mean, I love to hear that your evolution in your roles at the convention has evolved. I mean, I can't think of 1999 and remember that was 1 or 2 years before I gave up convention security when I was in my late teens, and then ended up as a game show host at the conventions, and then later a reporter at the convention talking to celebrities like you, either at the convention or before the convention. So I love that both of us have evolved throughout the conventions over the years.
Yeah, it's important, because then we get to really appreciate every part of it, isn't it? And it always, it's good to have a different perspective on things that we know so well. The funny thing was, with that upside down time when we were all pushed into our houses, this sort of challenged us to come up with reinventing a way to connect with each other. So I was literally searching for, the fan family online, so we created a Twitch channel. From this Twitch channel, again, day to day, it was actually like some of the people that I've met through, 2020 online through that channel are lifelong friends now because, we needed each other to literally survive another day. We needed to know that at 5 p.m. every day we had somewhere to meet, and whether it was in our pajamas or not, we had a place to be. We could cry, we could, debate, we could laugh, we could watch, shows together, and we actually in that downtime created 2 music videos. And again, none of any of this would have happened if it wasn't for our Comic-Con family, like people always, I like to be an open book and I like to share with you my heart because I wouldn't be here unless you guys had looked after me all this time. So to get onto Twitch and literally be like, guys, what should we do? And then someone's like, well, you do music, right? Why don't you do a music video? I'm like, okay, I guess I could do that. And we literally created these 2 music videos. One was called Kisses, it's all finding love and light in darkness, and it was all shot underwater with a very small crew because there were so many rules and regulations in that time. And then after that was a huge success. And then the Twitch tribe were like, do another one. I'm like, okay. So the next one we did was called Dragon in My Soul, and that was all aerial silks, and I trained myself up for 3 months before. And I love body paint. Chiana's been my connection with that, so I like to have a through line, but I also want to bring in something new and some vibrant, fresh energy. So Dragon in My Soul was very special. It was all about, every time we jumped online, there was so much fear and so much negativity, and it wasn't like running away from that or blocking that. It was like, okay, here's where we are. We're all in an uncertain time. How can we use that to get closer to each other, to grow stronger, to channel our inner warrior, to find our fierce love? Because ultimately, you might think that, and I might think that. We all want the one thing. We all deep down want love and to be, understood and to get along, despite all our differences. So that was the next project. And I said, guys, if we video, because it was really tough, challenging times, my promise to you is that I'll meet you at Dragon Con, and we will get up on stage, and if they allow me, and I'll sing the song, with a band on one of the nights. And we ended up doing all of that, and I got to wear these amazing dragon animatronic wings that are they're beautiful, but the creators actually came with them in their suitcase to Dragon Con, and they put them on me before I got on stage and everything, and we got up and sung it. And a lot of the people had never been on a plane, and it was just we found each other online and hung out for so long that we're all like, okay, this is the date, we'll see you there. And there was a massive crew of us that met up at Dragon Con. So it's really important that everyone out there knows how special that I regard our crew. I'll say it time and time again. And I've done a lot of productions, all inspired by people coming up to the table and saying, "Oh, I got the script. How would you be interested? Or why don't you do the music video?" Or because this is our universe. So what do you guys want? And I'll do my best to try and achieve it. And it's been a pretty magical journey.
Well, I'm so glad to hear it. I cannot believe I missed that Dragon Con because I just experienced my very first Dragon Con this past year, 2023. Because I heard all the stories and everything, and then I thought it's not believable, but the moment I stepped foot into that Atlanta marquee, it's like, yeah, they were definitely not kidding about the many people.
Next level, isn't it? That's the fun thing about these Comic Cons. They're all different shapes and sizes, just like us, Some are massive corporate things now, some are still like tiny things in hotel ballrooms, some are and it's just, we're so lucky to be able to connect with each other and celebrate our favourite shows, our favourite celebs, our favourite comics. It's such a beautiful energy.
It definitely is. And it's hard to believe that March 1999, that was the start of Farscape, on the Sci-Fi channel. That was when the world was introduced. And we were introduced to your character, Chiana, who, when I read about it, was originally a one-off character. But then the producers kept you on. And then next season, you were a series runner and you kept throughout the series. You are one of the few standout characters in Sci-Fi, which originally was a one-off, but they kept you going. How did you approach the script? Yeah, you're not. I go off that Monty Python. Yes. How did you originally approach Chiana when you got the script, and how did it feel that producer says you're not going to die, we're going to keep you on, and then to promote you, and you are one of the favorite characters that is synonymous with the series itself?
Blessed, surreal, humble, gracious, dreamlike. I love Brian Henson. I love the Henson Company. I'm obsessed with About Crystal. When I got the audition, it was like all of my stars were aligning. I was like, I have to get this. This is my happy place, you know. And then all it was one episode, which was huge and well enough for me, because that was just the only option given. And then on my last couple of days, I was sharing a dressing room with Lani Tupu, who plays Grace, and they delivered a script. And I gave it to him. I was like, oh, Lon, this must be for you. And he's like, no, it's got your name on it. I'm like, what? So Grace and Chiana sat down on our shared couch and we opened up the script and we saw like Chiana had a couple of lines in there right at the end. I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. So I called up my agent. I was like, hey, they want me for another episode. They're like, no, it's just one. I went, I got the next script and Chiana's in there. And they're like, oh, they give them a call then. And that's how I found out pretty much through season 1. I just had to play it super cool and pray that they would deliver another script. And then I think it was right before the end of season 1, they put Chiana in the opening credits. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is happening.
Yeah.
And I was a baby, you know, and it was just like so, just the best thing in the universe, and still is to this very day. You know, it's 25 years later, and we're still talking about it, and we're still celebrating it, and it's still very relevant, and it still lives on very loudly in our hearts and souls.
Absolutely, and that's a great segue into my next question. That it's funny enough that it was 20 years ago I met you on the 5th anniversary of Farscape. Here we are in the 25th year of the show. What goes through your mind to know that this wonderful series has hit its silver anniversary and it's still on the hearts and the minds of fans? That it's very few science fiction series like this that meets that 25-year mark, and still it's relevant. The stories are timeless. People love the characters. I mean, hell, it was just this past shore leave that I met Ben Browder and Claudia Black together for the first time. And it's like, this is why I love that series, and now I get to meet Gigi again. So what goes through your mind that's 25 years later?
It's very magical. I've always said it, the Henson Company has a magical power. You look at Tony at the Frog, he died. You don't move. They used to be ping pong balls and he was made from a coach, you know, from Jim's wife. But there is something very mystical about these creatures. They have a soul, they have a heart, they have affected us, they have inspired us, we've cried with them. There is something whimsical about it. You know, we look at Farscape now and they've played it on Shout and on Amazon, and now the younger people are coming up to the table saying, oh, you know, I love Farscape. I'm like, huh? You weren't even born. So you know when it starts affecting a whole other, crew of people, how magical it is. Very, very, very special. In 2019, they're talking about bringing it back. We went to San Diego Comic-Con, DragonCon, WitchCon officially announced that it was returning, and the world shut down. So who knows whether there's any more Farscape in the future, but I don't think it's gone yet.
Nope, it will never die. It's one of those things. It's like Star Trek. And I don't know if you know, but Jim Henson has Maryland ties. In fact, he went to the University of Maryland here, which is not too far from where I live, and they have a statue outside, I believe it's a library. So, and the Jim Henson Kermit Frog was actually born in a show in Washington, D.C. So Henson has some pretty good ties to this area. Pretty good ties.
Yeah, very special.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be there next weekend?
Oh yes, I gotta see you. Of course, it's been years.
We'll have to share a photo so everyone can go, oh, there they are.
Absolutely, and not only we have that commonality, but we also have another commonality that we were both in Star Trek fan films. I was and still part of Starship Farragut as a bridge character, and like your character as Chiana, my character was just a one-off when it started. Then I got another script. Then I got another script, and I found out I'm in the entire rest of the series, and I'm about to be in the new movie that they are doing called Farragut Forward. But you went into the sister ship, Star Trek Continues, and you were Eliza Taylor in the episode Come Not Between the Dragons. So I want you to talk about crossing the fandoms and playing a Starfleet officer in that very episode and stepping onto the bridge and the sets, because that was home for me for 6 years.
Well, I feel very honored because one of my besties is Eugene Roddenberry. We go back a gazillion years, and he was actually in that episode as well. So I feel absolutely delighted that we had a moment almost to share.
Yeah.
We weren't in the same scene, but it was funny because he met up somewhere along the circuit. He's like, I was in that episode of Star Trek Continues. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that we shared the same episode. And it's a beautiful little series. It's very well loved.
Yeah.
The energy on set is absolutely delightful. I know Vic Mignogna from the circuit as well, and we've had many deep meaningfuls. And he said, Sheesh, I want to write a story for you about the dark and surreal happenings that you've had in your life, and that's where that story came from. And to be honest with you, in the initial stage, I hadn't seen Star Trek Continues, and I've always worked with big networks, and I thought, listen, Vic, I got to tell you, I'm a bit, nervous going into a fan film because I've always been fortunate enough to work on the big mamas, and then I read it and I went, nobody else is playing this role. It's beautiful, and he wanted her initials to be E.T. So I said, can I come up with a name? So we both came up with Eliza Taylor, and that's how her beautiful character name came about, and it's a very precious story, very special.
Absolutely. And it was great to see you in a Starfleet uniform. That is amazing. And to be on the same sets that I was in my gold uniform for many years. So it was great to see you in that episode. Thank you. Now,
I can't wait to see you in a few more sleeps.
Yeah, me too. In fact, speaking of which, we got to promote Fairfax Comic-Con, which is coming up in a week. So what can fans look forward to seeing you amongst the many of stars that are coming up next week?
What can they look forward to?
What can they look forward, and what are you looking forward to? Sorry.
What we can all look forward to is anything that Mike Federale touches is gold. He rocks. We love him. As I said, I've joined him at many events all around America.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely honoured to come back and join forces with him. It's going to be action-packed, heaps of celebs, awesome comics, great vendors, lots of cool panels. The last couple of ones he's actually let me jump up on stage and do like a bit of a creature shop challenge or like a makeup challenge. So I'm not quite sure if that's going on, but I wouldn't be surprised. Keep an eye out for it. I love beautiful Sammy, who helps run it as well. I cannot wait to see everybody and be reunited again. Come up to the table, got lots of cool pictures, can talk to you all about our new adventures, and very much looking forward to it. Second last Comic-Con of the year for me, baby.
Yes. In fact, you have been to the the DMV, the District, Maryland, Virginia area numerous times. What is it about my home area that keeps bringing you back? Because you have been here at least since 2004, which is where I first met you, and here you are back again. So what is it about this area that keeps making you coming back?
It's you. I keep saying.
Well, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you come back, and I'm so glad we're going to meet again. Now, we're going to the section in which we call Fast Facts. You just think of the first thing that comes to your mind. These are just quick questions, short answers, and are you ready for some fast facts that we should learn about you? All right, here we go. Are you a cake, pie, or ice cream person? And what flavor? What's your flavor? What flavor would you like?
Chocolate.
Oh, yes, we get along so well. Favorite color?
Rainbow.
I'm sorry, say again, purple?
Rainbow.
Rainbow, so like all 7 colors.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. What was your childhood dream job? AKA, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
To be a fairy on Dark Crystal.
Hey, who can ask for anything more? I like that. What has been your favorite city, whether it's here or abroad, that you have traveled to as a guest for a convention?
Anytime my little girl's with me, to be honest with you, because she's my home. So to share my passion and to share our beautiful family with her is very important to me. It makes me feel at peace when she's near me.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I love that answer. Since you also are a musician, what musician have you seen the most live in concert?
Probably Ben Harper.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Ben Harper.
Ben Harper.
Yeah.
Nice. How many times have you seen him?
At least 5.
Wow. Very cool. Mine is Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I've seen them 4 times.
That's cool.
Since you had some time in science fiction show that takes place in space, if you were selected to go into space, would you?
Me to go to space?
Yeah.
We're already in space.
I love yours.
Way out there. We're like way out.
Absolutely. Describe your perfect day. What would it consist of?
Waking up with Sky in my arms, wandering down to the beach, just lazing, swimming in crystal clear ocean, probably having my beautiful puppy dog Biscuit, and then my dog after quite crystal clear. I said I'm hungry. It's Skywalker and Biscuit. Just relaxing, being present, being happy, delicious food, sun, beautiful ocean. That's our vibe.
Nice. If you are a Netflix and chill person, what shows would we find on your Netflix list?
I don't know if Severance is on there, but I was a bit obsessed with Severance. I like that one about the gaming. I don't think that's Netflix either, but is it Mystic Quest? Mystic Quest? Mystic Quest? It was really cool.
I think it's Mystic Quest, you're right.
Yeah. I like comedies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely those ones.
Which are your favorite? What are your favorite comedies?
Meet the Fockers. Something About Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Eurovision. Blades of Glory. Like I like really silly, easy to watch fluff movies. But it's like really actually fluff. It's actually really intelligent what they do. But it's nice just to have a good laugh, you know?
Absolutely, definitely a good laugh. And the final fast fact question is, name your favorite season of the year.
Spring.
Why spring?
Because it's warm and that's when everything is happy and it's also when my birthday is. Well, in Australia it's when my birthday is. Here actually it gets cold.
I know. Yeah, your birthday is in November, and November is the fall season. We're just in the tail end of getting ready for...
Let's go back to France.
Awesome. Well, let me ask you one last question. This is a personal question from me. One of my dream trips, actually, it is one of my dream trips, number two, is to always visit Australia one day. Since you're a native, what are a few things I need to keep in my head when I go to Australia? What are a few
Have
things?
fun, enjoy. Everyone's super welcoming, very down to earth. You've got to go for a few weeks. It can be a bit gnarly because it's a little adventure. You've got to see the East Coast. You've got to do the beaches and the northern beaches of Sydney. Crystal clear, some of the best beaches you've ever seen.
Ooh.
You've got to go up to Cairns, to the Great Barrier Reef, because that's one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yes.
And it's slowly fading because of the way that we treat the earth. So
Yeah.
check that out. I've never done the middle part because that's kind of sacred to the Aborigines, but people are pretty fascinated by that. I was born in Western Australia, which is very beautiful, but it's quite rugged. And yeah, say hello to my mum for me.
You got it. And where can people find you in case they want to follow you for your next soon-to-be few conventions left, or follow you on your journey towards your writing? Where can they find you?
So my website is my name, gigiedgley.com, gigiedgley.com, and I've got links to all my appearances, my social media, Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the fun stuff. And it also has some of my music there. It has links to my Australian work because the majority of my work isn't sci-fi. It's all actually, doctors and nurses and cops and robbers and the girl next door. But because I've done my 5 years of Farscape and a few other little sci-fi things, that's what places me into that universe. So you can get to see some of my human stuff on that website as well if you're into it.
Absolutely. In fact, you just got me another question, since you mentioned moments ago that your work is more from Australia, and I read some of your great roles, and one of the roles that piqued my interest, and I'm trying to pull it up again since my computer decides to go crazy, is Liz Kempson in Blackjack, which I saw it was a TV film, and there were a number of TV films in the early aughts of the 21st century. So tell us quickly about that role and those TV films.
Oh, yeah. So I love playing different characters. I played girls, Halsey, girls from different there. I played lesbians, I played hookers, I played crack addicts, I played junkies, I played the homicide detectives, I played, aliens. I love exploring all different walks of life. It teaches me so much about the world we live in. Every role that I do, I fully embrace it. I fully immerse myself. I'll go, if I have to play a lawyer, then I'll sit in. I went to the Sydney University of New South Wales, and I sat in on legal classes. Like if I have to go to, research a disease or a condition, then I'll find all my resources and I'll go and live it as much as possible and connect with people, because I want to honour, what these souls are going through and how it really in the real world is for them on a day-to-day basis. So it's really important to me to connect, to really not act, to be in the character, to surrender to the character, and to really, I guess it's a part of method acting where you're that soul, you're channeling that energy kind of thing. A lot of my stuff, there's actually a Rescue Special Ops is a fun one that's on Amazon. That's
cool.
Where I play like a paramedic, but it's a lot of stunt work because you have to go into places that normal paramedics can't go into, so they train us up on stunts. Love trapeze, love wire work, love aerial silks, love stunts. Tricky Business is another one that's only one season, that's on Amazon as well. Last Stranger Frio is a feature film. A lot of the stuff you can find nowadays, because you do like Google, I think you can find anything, but it's my major body of work. I had about 5 years on Farscape, and then after that had a good solid 10, 15 years on Aussie shows, but then I keep coming back to America, then I do a sci-fi movie of the week, and I host a Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge for a season. So I just bounce around wherever the work is. I love hosting, I love dancing, I love directing, I like producing, I like singing. Like, the entertainment industry is in my blood, my family. My mum and dad bought in Baryshnikov, Mireille, the Bolshoi Ballet, and the circus. Like, it's part of my makeup. So I am so lucky to be part of this industry, and I keep striving to make more wonderful and compelling and beautiful stories for everyone.
And I have a feeling that once you take your hiatus from the convention circuit and focus on your writing and your directing, we're going to see a whole lot more. And I cannot wait. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We just went to Cannes because of my feature film that I did in Australia in COVID. Got into Cannes, and it's funny because all life has been so inside out and back to front with the last few years. But a director contacted me, said, "Where are you? No one can find you because I jump around so much." And a casting agent, because the director's looking for you, I said, "I'm in America, don't worry about it. They're looking for local hire." I'm like, "Tell me what the job is and I'll be there." And they're like, "You realise it's COVID, you realise you've got a 3-year-old, I know this, tell me what the job is, give me the audition, if I book the job, I'll make it happen." So sure enough, and this is when Jen and I were also co-parenting with Sky at the time, so it was like anything that could come as a massive challenge, we just like one step at a time. I was like, nothing is going to stop me from, doing my craft. Because when Sky grows up, and she is growing up, she needs to know to be courageous and to be a warrior, and whatever challenge comes before her, use it to make her strong and wise and find the zen even in the storm, So we did the hotel quarantine. That was 2 weeks. We got through it. We shot the film. Years later, the director, I'm a big believer in manifesting and affirmations and the law of attraction. I put out to the universe, health, safety, sky, it's all surrounded in love and light, and I need to be creating again. I need to be back in my happy place again. And literally the next day, you see my friend through from the director saying, our feature got into Cannes and it's in one of the, in the independent category. Who wants to come, promote it? I'm like, me? And just going there really, really inspired me, it's so alive and it's so beautiful, and everywhere you meet there's a producer, a director, an actor, a screenwriter. I'm like, I remember this. That's why I'm here. So it's been a journey, when going through a very intense time with Sky's dad and everything, but I've got to re-level out, got to remember what life's about, got to pursue our passion, look after my beautiful baby cub, and always, always see the light in the darkness. Like, even to the point where a couple of years ago I was at a convention and I'm like, I need love and light. I need to rediscover it in my life again. I know it's there, but there's been so much that has happened that, knocks you off track. So I went to the guys in the tattoo thing, and I was like, can you do stars on this pen and a love heart on my relationship, your ring finger? And he's like, no, we don't do, fingers at the convention because they're tricky and they whatever. And I was like, and then this random beautiful gentleman came up to the autograph table, and I told him, how's your day? I was like, well, to be honest with you, I told him that I was a bit bummed because it was my birthday weekend and I really wanted this love and light tattoo. And he's like, well, I guess I'll just open up the shop early for you tomorrow. What time's your flight? And I was like, no way. I was like, yeah, I own a tattoo place, and I'll open it up, first thing Monday morning, and you can come in and I'll gift you those tattoos. So I gifted him back lots of treats as well on the plane, and I got my love and light on my hands, and they've been my guide to rediscover the light and why we're here and what's it all about, because it really has been quite the adventure the last few upside down, inside out years. So I can only use it to get stronger and more courageous and really strive to connect with each other. What we need right now is to know we're all in this together. So I'll see you really soon.
Absolutely.
Share the love and light with you.
Indeed. Thank you, Gigi, once again for not only being one of my first celebrity interviews ever, but helped me jumpstart to where it is 20 years later. And thank you so much. It has been a great honor.
Pleasure. That's what it's all about.
Yes, indeed. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next weekend. Indeed. You take care. Take care of your cub and see you when you get here next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Gigi. Take care.